strawberries, goat cheese, and red wine to cheesecake makes it lighter, less sweet, and a heck of a lot more flavorful. Plus, a homemade graham cracker crust gives you bragging rights. So most cheesecake recipes use graham crackers that you buy in the store, and that's perfectly fine. But if you make your own graham cracker cookie dough, it just tastes so much better. So in my bowl, I have whole wheat flour, regular flour, and salt. Add a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon is what makes it taste graham crackery. I'm also gonna add a little bit of cocoa. I think it adds a nice complexity, and it also darkens the color of the crust, which is more attractive. So in my mixer, I've got butter and brown sugar. I'm just gonna beat that until it's creamy, and then I'm gonna add my dry ingredients. And now I'm gonna add honey. Wrap up your dough. You just wanna form it into a disc. And it needs to chill in the fridge for at least 2 hours, or you could even do this a couple of days ahead if you want. So now this is nice and firm, which is what you want. And I'm gonna roll it out in between 2 pieces of parchment instead of using flour. So what's great about using a cookie dough for this is that it's a very forgiving dough. It's not like a pie dough that's very delicate and you have to be careful with it. Lift up the whole piece of parchment and then flop the dough into the pan. This is what we call a crust comb over. It's when I take pieces from one side that have too much and I put it on the other side that doesn't quite have enough. Now I'm just gonna prick it all over. And then you want this to chill in the fridge for about 20 minutes so it firms up again. As you can see, it got a little bit soft. So remember I mentioned the red wine? Well, what I'm gonna use it for is to bloom the gelatin. This is a no-bake cheesecake, well, except for the crust, but I'm not gonna bake the filling. The filling is really light and I set it with gelatin. So I've got my red wine here, I've got my gelatin here. I'm just gonna sprinkle it right on the top. By the way, try to use a really bright and fruity red wine for this because it'll just underscore the strawberry flavor. After about 5 minutes, the gelatin will be soft. It will have expanded into the liquid. You can see it looks kind of like sludge. That's what you're looking for. Then it's done. Now I'm just gonna heat it up and that's gonna melt the gelatin. Now you wanna do this gently. You're not looking for this to boil. Just wanna melt it. And now for the filling. Enter the goat cheese. In this food processor, I have regular cream cheese, goat cheese, and sugar. You want to get this cream cheese mixture really smooth before you add anything else. So I've got my strawberries. And this has to be cool before you add it, otherwise it's going to melt the cream cheese, which would be very bad. And then when it's smooth, pour it into the baked and cooled crust. You'll notice that the cheesecake mixture is coming up beyond the top of the crust, and that's gonna look really pretty when we unmold it because we're gonna see the crust on the bottom layer and the top is gonna be pink. And then you just need to chill this in the fridge until it firms up, at least 4 to 6 hours. So this is what it looks like when it's all done. It may seem a little scary to take the springform pan off, so here are some insurance policies just to make sure it comes out perfectly. Take a hot, wet dish towel, put it around, and you just kind of wipe and let it sit there for a few seconds. It helps soften and melt the outer layer, and it makes it detach from the sides. And then you just want to take a paring knife, run it around the sides. And then just very carefully unmold it. Ta-da! You could serve this as it is, but I'm gonna put more strawberries on the top just to make it extra pretty. Okay, so this isn't the easiest dessert in the world, but the beauty of it is that you can do the entire thing ahead, and then look what you end up with.